greener and more sustainable. As a nation that contributes less than 1% of global emissions, but ranks amongst the most climate vulnerable countries in the world, Pakistan does not have the luxury of delay. Our transition to clean energy is not an option, it is a necessity. Although I have a different point of view, I think we should be investing more into how to mitigate the risks of disaster that Pakistan is struck by every year in terms of watershed management and infrastructure on the water side, because that is playing havoc with us, rather than investing into any transition that could cost a lot more than the others in terms of energy, because we hardly contribute to these emissions. And we are taking the brunt of it all from the so-called global community. We hardly contribute, and we are the worst in terms of being struck by climate change and disasters. Pakistan today stands at a pivotal moment in its energy journey. We are fully cognizant of the global energy to decarbonize, and as a responsible member of the international community, Pakistan has set ambitious clean energy targets. By 2030, we aim to achieve 60% of our electricity generated from clean and renewable sources. Progress is already underway. Our national grid now carries approximately 2,000 megawatts of wind power and 800 scale solar. In addition, distributed generable project, a remarkable impact. We are not through this revolution. Pakistan has already gone through the revolution of distributed renewable energy being inducted into the system. Net metering alone contributes around 7,000 megawatts. Although I would love to change the regulations on net metering and make it more affordable for the entire grid. And it's also a fact that non-metered solar adds more capacity than that. Over 10,000 megawatts of hydropower continues to play a vital role, further strengthening the clean share of energy mix. This is a journey of steady but determined steps. And while challenges remain, our commitment is firm to make renewables the backbone of Pakistan's energy sector. Yet the path ahead is not without obstacles. The intermittency of solar and wind resources challenge the grid stability, demanding backup generation, storage solutions, and better forecasting. The cost of integrating these technologies alongside the need for new infrastructure adds a lot of pressure to an already financially constrained power sector in our country. Pakistan faces unique difficulties. We have inherited circular debt, outdated distribution networks, poor visibility due to limited smart metering, and governance weakness in the distribution sector. Together, these factors make our clean energy transition more complex than in many other countries. But within these challenges lie opportunities to innovate, reform, and reshape our power sector. To meet these challenges head-on, we are undertaking bold and comprehensive reforms. We are strengthening governance by introducing independent boards in distribution companies to ensure professionalism and accountability. We've already harvested 1/3 of the losses that our distribution sector used to make 1 year ago in just 1 year. So bringing down our losses from over 580 billion rupees to about 400 billion rupees just because of these measures. We are seeking to privatize the distribution companies in order to bring in efficiency. Our digitization agenda is advancing rapidly with smart meters and advanced metering infrastructure being rolled out. These tools are not merely for billing accuracy. They are about visibility, monitoring and control, about managing our distribution networks more efficiently, and most importantly, about enabling the integration of a higher share of renewable energy. Net metering regulations are being refined to encourage even greater consumer participation in clean energy generation in a manner which is healthy for the grid. This focus on distribution is absolutely deliberate, as distributed solar is increasingly being connected at this level, and we must ensure our power distribution system is ready for it. In the reform process that Pakistan is going through, for the first time in our country's history, the much long awaited CTBCM, or the competitive markets, have been initiated and launched. January next year, January 26, in the next 3-4 months, we will be witnessing the end of procurement of power by the government. No more procurement by the government. The competitive markets and the competitive suppliers and the users of power would be trading power amongst themselves. No obligation of the government. So we'll have an open competitive market in place with the start of the first auction in January. Whatever is being auctioned out through the wheeling process, we are expecting that because of the price advantage, all new induction in the near future would be based on renewable energy. For the first time in our history, Pakistan has authored the first IGCEP and the first transmission plan overlaid onto each other and have actually proposed it to the regulator for approval, which translated into more than 7,000 megawatts of surplus power that we were going to buy and burden you, the consumers of this country, for the next 5 to 10 years. We have reduced the power purchasing price for the next 10 years by over 4 trillion rupees. As it is, we have surplus power, and with no planning whatsoever in the past, Pakistan was going to be investing into unnecessary power that was an obligation for the government to buy, irrespective of whether those plants produced any power or not. So the first IGCEP and the transmission plan has been already approved by the cabinet and has been sent to the regulator for approval. You'll be quite surprised to know that Pakistan doesn't have an integrated energy plan. So the power sector is just one stakeholder. There are others. There's the petroleum sector. There's the transportation sector within the provinces. The whole country utilizes power in one form or the other, energy in one form or the other. Either it's from fossil fuel-based energy, or whether it's renewable, or it's hydropower. There is no integrated energy plan that Pakistan has. And so we have taken it upon ourselves at the power division to coordinate with all the stakeholders across provinces and the federal government. And the planning minister has already heard us on this issue. And so Pakistan, we would be proud in the next year and a half or so to have the first integrated energy plan authored, and then all the policies would evolve and emerge from that authored energy plan. That's much required for the country. Pakistan doesn't even have a long-term transmission plan. Transmission plans are based on the input given by the distribution companies and the networks below. It's a bottom-up approach. We don't have a long-term transmission plan. So we work on 3-year and 5-year planning. We don't have a 20-year transmission plan on the basis of which you keep changing your goalpost in the middle and you set the course to be corrected enough to reach the optimum level of transmission. So we are actually in the middle of doing that all. Yet the path ahead is not without obstacles. The intermittency of solar and wind resources challenges grid stability. You know, last year in about February, Pakistan's national demand came down to 6,000 megawatts. We almost had a blackout. With the amount of distributed solar energy coming into the system, the demand went down to 6,000 megawatts and the grid went unstable. And there was hardly anything we could do about it. But then we tried to put into place some measures that ensured grid stability at that point in time. So what happens then? Unless we are well prepared enough to plan out such events, Pakistan would not be a very dependable and reliable, Pakistan would not have a very dependable and reliable grid. The cost of integrating these technologies alongside the need for new infrastructure adds a lot of pressure to an already financially constrained power sector. Pakistan faces unique difficulties. We've got circular debt, outdated distribution networks, etc. At the Ministry of Power, we firmly believe that innovation is the cornerstone of Pakistan's clean energy future. Infrastructure alone will not suffice. We need smart solutions, advanced forecasting, storage technologies, and digital integration. To drive this vision, we have established the Power Planning and Monitoring Company. This has happened for the first time in Pakistan's history. The first ministry to adopt the model is ours. We did this in the past 18 months. So there used to be a politician like me, head of the ministry, with the secretary of our ministry, the senior most representative of the bureaucracy at the ministry. Then we used to have additional secretaries, joint secretaries, deputy secretaries. And then we used to have these consultants come in, some funded by the World Bank, some by the ADB, some by GIZ and others. There was no institutionalized way of running a technical arm. There was no institutional memory. There was just ad hoc. So for the first time in entity, proud to say now able.
वज़ीर तवानाई अवैस लगारी कॉमर्स यूनिवर्सिटी में सेमिनार से खिताब कर रहे हैं। नौजवान हमारे मुल्क का मुस्तकबिल हैं। वफाकी वज़ीर ने कहा कि मौसमी तब्दीली इस वक्त बड़ा चैलेंज है। मौसमी तब्दीली से निपटने के लिए इकदाम उठाए जा रहे हैं। मुल्क में माहौल दोस्त तवानाई का फ़रोग़ हमारी तरजीह है। एनर्जी मिक्स में काबिल तरजीह तवानाई का हिस्सा बढ़ाया जा रहा है। सरदार अवैस लगारी ने कहा कि एनर्जी मिक्स में पन बिजली का बड़ा किरदार है। तवानाई के शोबे के बुनियादी ढांचे को भी बेहतर बना रहे हैं। वफाकी वज़ीर तवानाई अवैस लगारी कॉमर्स यूनिवर्सिटी में सेमिनार से खिताब कर रहे हैं। उनका कहना है कि कर्ज़शी कर्जे पर काबू पाने के हवाले से ठोस पेशरफ्त की गई। हुकूमत तवानाई के शोबे में मौसर इस्लाहात के एजेंडे पर अमल पैरा है। उन्होंने कहा कि डिजिटाइजेशन से निज़ाम में शफाफियत आएगी। न्यूज़ स्टूडियो से अब तक के लिए इतना ही।
दुरुस्त हर वक्त बार वक्त।
जो लॉस है उसका भी उन्होंने जिक्र किया। एक इशू था हमारा रिकग्निशन का। इस कुर्बानी की रिकग्निशन हमें वर्ल्ड वाइड नहीं मिल रही थी। बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स हो सकते हैं उसके, लेकिन आपको क्या लगता है कि बतदरीज